time, and thanks lots again. And what we are going to do next is to discuss to continue our discussion. Okay. Now look, that's basically the new landscape in our integrated marketing communication tool. Okay. Now look, advertising. Let's look at them briefly. Let's look at the tool. Its tool briefly. Advertising, it can help us reaching mass markets. Okay, the advertising in here, it is one of the key features of advertising. Okay, therefore the cost per exposure is quite low, but again it is repetition. Okay, now the thing with advertising is we have what we call as depersonalize the message, because we are using mass media. Okay, we are using mass media, therefore it is depersonalized. Okay, so the message is pretty much almost for everyone. Although we use the concept target audience, but pretty much it is not customized. Okay, personal selling, basically a different one. The focus of personal selling is to build the interaction with the customers different to it is quite different to using advertising tool. Personal selling personal selling may be labeled by companies in a different way. Some companies label them as salesman or sales force. Some other companies label them as account executive or marketing executive, right? Or sales engineer, right? Basically, they do sales job. Now, this is the thing. When I say sales job in here, in the olden days, their focus was pretty much to sell, but now their focus is actually to build the relationship. Okay, and they actually provide us with the strong opportunity to build the relationship with the customers. Okay, and we'll get the opportunity to have a spontaneous response from the consumers. At least they may say no thank you to our personal selling message. Okay. And because of that uniqueness, marketers normally use personal selling team to help them communicating complicated message to the target customers. Okay, and they may in fact provide the consumers with the or the target customers with the demo, for instance. Okay, so if you look at that. Personal selling team or salesman or sales force is quite expensive as well. So the question is, as a business, which one that we want to focus on? Advertising campaign or personal selling? Right? Well, that goes back to the characteristics of the business. Okay, if you compare those two channels, those two communication channel, okay, personal selling team or advertising. If our target market basically, if we have lots of consumers, like millions of consumers, okay, we may want to focus on advertising campaign. Okay, it doesn't mean that we don't do personal selling team. It doesn't mean we don't have a salesmanship in here. It doesn't mean we don't have a sales force. Okay. And if we have little number of customers, and although they are little number of customers, but when they place order, they may place a large amount of order, then we need to focus on personal selling. Okay, and if the nature of product is quite complicated, we do not focus on advertising. Instead, we need to think about using personal selling team. Okay, think about if you are a salesperson, right? And you want to sell an aircraft like Boeing 747, for instance. If you run 30 seconds advertising campaign, it's hard for you to explain the features of your aircraft. Okay, but if you use personal selling team like marketing engineer or sales engineer or marketing executive, then you have the opportunity to explain it better. Okay, so there are some guidelines in terms of how companies select between the focusing on advertising and focusing on personal selling. Okay. Now, sales promotion is another important tool. In today's business landscape, we know that it is quite competitive out there. Okay, so we need to stand out in the clutteredness of the campaign. Okay, so it is one of the reasons why sales promotion is in growing trend. Okay, and there are a number of reasons why sales promotion is has gained momentum. Okay, it is more competitive. Okay, so if we depend on advertising campaign only, it's not enough to make our brand stand out in the market. Okay, because you're not the only one who will advertise, either using TV, print ad, and or billboard, and so on and so forth. Okay, so you need to think about another tool to make your brand stand out in the market. Okay. The other reason why sales promotion is in high demand is it has gained momentum in markets like Australia is there is a shift in terms of focus from the top management, because they are aware that the resources that they have are getting less and less. Although they are large companies, but they always shout, okay, I have limited resources. They are aware of the value of resources. Okay, any dollar that they assign to any department, including marketing department, they need to show that that dollar would contribute to the achievement of the organization objective. Now, you will recall that we discussed about the purpose of advertising. Eventually, you want to sell. Okay, but advertising alone cannot sell, cannot do the job, cannot do the sales job, because we know that advertising actually helps us to create what we call as the pre-sale condition. Okay, we create the awareness, image, and also we influence the behavior. Okay, so if you only focus on advertising campaign, you may struggle to achieve your short-term goal or your short-term financial goal. Okay, and when you stand up in front of your management team, it's hard for us to explain, well, all of our dollars are invested to create, the image, because at the end of the day, they also need us to show whether we can deliver or not. Okay. And in the fast-moving consumer goods industry or convenience and product category, there's a shift in terms of power. Okay, the manufacturer used to be powerful, but if you look at it further, you may find that our retailers have increased power. Okay, if you look at in the context of winning the consumers. Why is that? There are a number of reasons. Well, we are in oligopoly competition. Okay, we like it or not, in markets like Australia, we are in oligopoly competition. When it comes to fast-moving consumer goods, who else that you need to talk to aside from Woolies and Coles? Okay, so you depend on them a lot. Okay, the other reason is the retailers also run their own loyalty program. Okay, they run their campaign. They also provide the customers with their own loyalty cards, for instance. Okay, so I'm not surprised when customers say when they want to buy a certain product category, they may want to start which store that they want to go to, and then they decide the brands, they decide the products that they want to purchase, for instance. Okay, so there are some reasons why sales promotion is used a lot recently in Australia. Okay, public relations, which is basically creating the goodwill of the company through news stories, events, sponsorships. Okay, so they actually public relations is quite useful to accommodate those who have the tendency of avoiding salespeople and ads. Okay, now you can ask yourself, when you watch TV and suddenly commercial break comes, what would you do? You may go to the bathroom, you may go to the pantry to make your tea, coffee, and you come back to your TV after the commercial break, or when the commercial break is achieving to almost the end of the commercial break. Okay, so. And with that, actually, PR helps us reaching those guys, right? Reaching the customers who have the tendency of avoiding salespeople and ads. Okay, the downside of PR is it is beyond our control in terms of what kind of news that the journalists will publish about us. Okay, so that is one thing that we also need to be aware of. Yeah. Now, direct digital marketing is quite interesting. Direct digital marketing, basically using the basically capitalizing one-on-one relationship building. Remember, in module 1 we discussed that the purpose of marketing is actually to build relationship with the customers. Okay, in the olden days, the communication to build the relationship with the customers use the traditional media such as TV, print, and also radio, billboard, and so on and so forth. Okay. Now, in today's business landscape, in today's marketing landscape, okay, we actually try to understand specifically the customers that we want to build the relationship with. Okay. So direct marketing is actually in high demand recently in markets like Australia. So if we go back to advertising as one of the traditional promotional tool, we use advertising to communicate with the consumers, okay, where in here we actually pretty much have what we call as one-way communication traffic, okay. In the case of direct marketing, this is one of direct digital marketing. This is the beauty of direct digital marketing, okay. We actually pull the consumers to us. Okay, because we actually design the message that is relevant for the consumers. Okay, now ask yourself, when let's say you want to fly from Melbourne or Sydney to Hawaii, for instance, what would you do? You may do Google. Okay, and the outcome of your Google search is actually a list of websites that you want to visit, that you plan to visit, either Webjet or Flight Center or Qantas and so on and so forth. Okay, so that means you're actually pulling the consumers to you. Okay, so that is actually the beauty of direct marketing, and we also recall that the downside of advertising is consumers may have the tendency of avoiding advertising messages. In the case of direct digital marketing, consumers are researching the information. Okay, researching the information. Okay, that is the reason why when we do online marketing, we need to ensure that the message that we design is relevant to the consumers. Okay, otherwise they're not going to look at you. Okay, right. So that's direct marketing in a nutshell. Now, look, I'm not going to discuss each of them in more detail. Just in terms of promotional strategy, there are two types of promotional strategy. The first one is push, and the second one is pull. Push strategy is actually focusing on pushing the message, pushing the marketing activities to the resellers, like retailers or wholesalers, and we expect them to push the activities again to the consumers, to the final consumers. The second one is pull, where we create demand through advertising campaign or any consumer campaign. And we pull the consumers. After we create demand, we pull the consumers to our retailers, and eventually the retailers will create demand for us as well. Okay, so there are two types of promotional strategies in a nutshell: push and pull. Okay, so when marketers talk about push, that's what they mean. Push and pull, that's what they mean. Okay. Advertising, I'm going to skip this. Actually, you can go through it yourself, and I'm not going to discuss that. I just want to jump to direct digital marketing briefly, because that's basically the ones that people may find it, in high demand. You can go through the other tools yourself. Again, it is about building one-to-one relationship in terms of direct digital marketing. Okay, connecting directly with carefully targeted individual consumers. That's what we mean by direct marketing. Okay, now digital marketing is actually the extension of direct marketing. It allows us to interact with non-consumers. I put in bold non-consumers, right? Therefore, we need to know them. All right. Now, how do we know them? Well, look, strong companies should actually value the information that the customers give them. Okay, so the customers may contact the company in any ways, in any channel. That's what we call as the customer's touch point. Customer's touch point. Okay, either through sales rep or telephone or social media or emails and so on and so forth. They're actually giving us the information. Okay, and that helps us to understand who they are. That helps us to build what we call as database, customer database. Okay, which is basically about a collection of customer profile that includes geographic, okay, demographic, psychographic, and behavioral. Okay, now if you recall, there are 4 critical information to help us understanding who our target market is. Okay, so in the olden days, marketers may spend money to conduct research to understand who their customers are. In today's business landscape, marketers have different challenge. We have what we call as big data. If you type in the Google search box, big data, you'll find tons of articles about big data, because customers give us information, abundance of information. Okay, that leads us to what we call as data mining, which is actually after we get the data, we need to think about how do we analyze them. Okay, remember when we discussed about marketing research topic, marketers or marketing management does not need a lot of data. We need good data. Okay, to get good data, we need to do what we call as data mining. What we do with data mining, we do slice and dice to find the patterns. Okay, to find the patterns, let's say we can join the dot between one thing to other things. For instance, let's say if you run a supermarket business, you find that there may be a connection between chocolate bar and yogurt sales. For instance, you notice that both are increasing. So if it is proven both are increasing, then you may want to place them quite closely one to another. So you help the customers in making decision. Okay, right. So there are some briefly about the digital marketing. How do we get that? Well, if you look at this model, customers contact us through any customer touch point. Okay, and again, strong companies should record that in their what we call as database warehouse. Okay, because we can do data mining to help us understanding the next opportunities in this product category. Okay. All right, I'm going to skip that. That's what I mean by customer database, and this helps us understanding further about customer database. Okay, customers give us information. Think about when you purchase a fridge at Harvey Norman or Bingley or JB Hi-Fi, for instance. Okay, you're actually giving your ID. Okay, you're actually giving them giving the information about who you are actually, and with the size of purchase that you make and your address, that also gives them the ID who you are. So actually, customer database helps us understanding customers based on geographic, demographic, psychographic, and behavioral. Okay. Now, in saying that, though, I'd like to highlight to you that Australia has not bad in terms of the level of customer protection, privacy protection. Okay, so we normally convey our messages to those who have given us the consent. Okay. All right. Now, look, I'm not have clicked that data mining video. I'm not going to play that here. That's kind of 10 minutes, but it is giving us a good idea in terms of how powerful direct digital marketing is in terms of reaching the customers, convincing the customers. Okay, and the next thing I'd like to discuss with you is this guy here. Okay. Setting up online marketing presence or digital marketing presence or internet marketing presence. Okay, there are 4 things that marketers normally do. The first one is to create search engine optimized websites. Okay, so they create the website. When companies create their website, they actually start their online marketing presence, and technically speaking, we can reach people globally. Okay, technically speaking, okay, although the result may be different depending on how good your website is, okay, your landing page and so on and so forth. And the second one is to participate with the search engine marketing through Google AdWords, for instance, to boost their presence, online presence, okay, and setting up or participate in the social network or social media is another one, and the last one is using email, okay. Now, in terms of the search engine optimized website, marketers would normally remember the keyword in here is everything that we do especially in the context of digital marketing is to make sure that our message, our brand is relevant for the customers. Therefore, from website perspective, we need to find words that are relevant for our customers, okay? And in doing so, a lot of marketers use tools such as Google Trends, for instance, to look at what words that are relevant in the consumer's conversation. Okay, let's say if you work for a pharmaceutical company and you're about to launch a medicine in cold category, you are tossing around the idea of using the word flu or influenza, for instance. You can use Google Trend to find out which one is in trend, and you can put it in your website. Okay, that helps you to boost your online presence when consumers do the Google search. Okay, that is to boost your online presence organically. Okay. Search engine marketing is another one, as discussed before, and social network or online social network or social media is an interesting tool. Look, I discussed this with my clients. They mentioned that I like social media because it is free. Well, hang on a second, it is not entirely free, okay? For at least two reasons. First, if you want to boost your presence, you may want to advertise using your social network or social media. Second, you need to hire people actually to keep them updated. Okay, otherwise your social media messages will not be relevant for the consumers, and although you have subscribers or you have likes, you may reduce number of likes or subscribers. Okay, so you need to make sure that it is relevant. You need to make sure that it is exciting for the customers. Okay, and in terms of social media, the big benefit of social media is the platform is available. Okay. So you just need to use it. Okay, you design your Facebook page, for instance, according to your brand messages. Okay, whatever brand messages that you have, whatever brand essence that you have, you can just design your social media accordingly. Okay. The big downside of your social media is that it is not in your control. Okay, anybody can place anything on your social media, on your Facebook page, and so on and so forth. Okay, so you need to have a clear protocol in terms of addressing, someone posting any criticisms on your Facebook page, for instance. If you delete it, you may end up, it may backfire you. Okay, so you need to think about a protocol. Okay, so you get the most benefit of your social media campaign. Okay, now we have 4 tools in here, right? Either email, search engine optimized website, search engine marketing, and also social media and email. Okay. In reality, marketers need to think about how they are all linked into integrated one to another. Okay, so in terms of integrating it, you may want to think about 2 types of audience that we have. Okay, I'm talking about from online marketing presence perspective, not from target audience of your specific brand perspective. Okay, generally speaking, we have 2 types of audience. The audience that have little knowledge, so they know what questions that they need to ask, and the other one is the audience that don't know anything. Okay, so let's say, for argument's sake, if we talk about Sharia banking system or Islamic banking system, well, we may have little knowledge about it. Okay, some of us may know something about it. Okay, so those who know something about it may do Google search box. Okay, they may do Google. They type in Google search box and type specific questions. Okay, those who don't know may struggle to ask, and like what we do in social life, we may ask our friends. Okay, in online context, we may ask our virtual friends, hey guys, who knows this? Who can lead me to this? Okay, we can post it on our Facebook page. Okay, either one that we face, okay, that should lead us to one thing. Okay, to one thing that can that customers can download from us. This is what we call as the hub. Okay, this is what we call as the hub. Now that hub is normally placed, in our website that customers can download in PDF format, basically. Okay, so customers can get full information about it, and from a website, either they ask the questions through social media, or they ask the questions through whatever it is, through our discussion forum or whatever, that should lead to the hub that we create, linking all channels in here. So all customers, type of customers will get the information that we publish. Okay, all right, guys, that's basically the direct digital marketing, and again, it has gained a stronger momentum because both consumers and also marketers gain the benefit of digital online marketing presence. From consumer perspective, it is convenience for consumers because they can do research, they can ask any questions, they have a bunch of product that offered out there on the net. And from the marketer's perspective, it also offers strong benefit because it helps them expanding their distribution, it helps them optimizing their communication and building the engagement with the customers. Okay. Any questions so far, guys?
Thank you. Thank you. No.
Sorry, do you expect to have something quite defined in the assignment around the marketing presence?
Okay. If you go back here for your assessments, okay, there are 5 tools I'd like you to use: the advertising, personal selling, public relations, and also these guys here, and also direct digital marketing. Okay, in terms of direct digital marketing, you can consider those 4 tools in your strategy. Okay, yep, we are going to create websites, and we are going to participate in the social media campaign. You can also talk about Google AdWords as part of your search engine marketing optimization. And I don't know whether you will consider email marketing or not for your consumers. If you are running a B2B, email marketing is normally quite effective. Okay, have I answered your question?
Yes, thank you. Thank you. That's very good.
Thanks a lot. So in terms of promotional mix, they are the tools that you need to consider. Okay, they are the tools that you need to consider. Okay. Any more questions before I look at the assessment?
I'm good. I'm good.
All right, cool. Thanks a lot. Let's look at the assessment. Okay. This is my favorite topic, guys. Okay. Well, sorry if I push the word A again, because next week the assessment is due, and this Thursday we are going to discuss assessment, and next Tuesday we are going to discuss assessment again. Okay. So the last 2 sessions, I'm going to use the last 2 sessions in our webinar sessions to discuss assessment. Okay. In fact, I would love to see that you drive the process with the questions that you have, because we may or may not record the last 2 sessions, basically. Okay.
All right.
Right. Now, just a reminder, executive summary, write this at last. Okay. Now, from my memory, I think I received a question, how many words that we need to put? Well, look, it's hard to say. Okay. As long as you include the, okay, what is the purpose of this document? The purpose of this document is to outline a strategy. Okay. So if you outline, okay, the insights, okay, that leads you to the strategy, and your strategy, okay, they're the ones they are the ones that you want to include in your executive summary. Okay, in a typical full marketing plan, well, you have the objectives and so on and so forth. You will include the objectives. You'll include the insights that are basically from your situation analysis. Okay, and your strategies. Okay, your positioning and key highlights of your marketing variables. Okay, introduction, a brief summary of the company, the product, service, activities. Okay, business model, if you like, okay, anything that helps you to introduce the company. And then a brief look. This is my recommendation: a brief summary of situational analysis. What about if you're running out of words because you have achieved your word limit? Can you ignore this? Well, look, guys, you can do that. But if that's the case, then build your, when it comes to the relevant sections, you can refer to your situation analysis to help you building your argument. Okay, so let's say in the case of marketing, in the case of positioning, for instance, you can go back to support your argument about the positioning map, the attributes that you use. You can go back to the consumer behavior. You can go back to the customer analysis, for instance, and put that you're actually showing the link between your strategy to your situation analysis. Okay. And target market analysis, please use 4 segmentation variables. Appreciate if you can also consider Roy Morgan value segment and show the link between the two. And marketing strategy, that includes your positioning map, positioning statement. Please draw the map. You need to draw a bit of drawing, guys. And so those who like drawing, well, welcome. And those who don't like drawing, positioning map, again, please use the formula to whom your what. Okay, to be more complete, you can also use to what target market with what need. Okay, our brand is what with point of difference, with what point of differentiation. Okay, that point of differentiation, if you look at your rubric, on your assessment brief, you're actually required to show the competitive advantage to defend your positioning strategy. And then your product price, placement, promotion, and extended marketing mix variables. Now, look, if you are managing not a service category in this assessment, then the 4 P's are the main ones that you want to look at. And if you manage the service category, then please think about the extended marketing mix variables. That includes people, which is basically about the stuff that helps you managing the service. Process, which is basically about the system, includes that you need to consider to provide the customer with the service. And physical evidence, which is basically about tangible and intangible cues that show the customers, that symbolizes that the service is delivered for the customers. Okay, so if you think about David Jones, people in here include anybody, starting from placing the order to get the merchandise, providing the merchandise for the customers, and deliver the service for the customers. Process includes the system, starting from ordering to the suppliers to the customers placing the order and deliver the order for the customers. Physical evidence in here includes any cues such as their logo, the store ambience, the layout of the stores, and so on and so forth, to show that the physical the service is delivered for the customers. Okay, and lastly, conclusion recommendation include the key findings of the above analysis. Okay, right. So that's basically the assessment again, guys. Any questions about the assessment?
Yeah.
Yep.
Question.
Yep, sure.
The positioning map that has to be drawn, does that need to be included in the main body of the report, or is that suitable as an attachment?
That's actually
That's
a good question. I would normally say the positioning map, the diagram is on the appendix, but for positioning map, you can exclude that comments. You can include your positioning map into your main report. You draw the diagram and then you explain your diagram. Okay, these are the needs the customers need in this product category, and this is how the brands are mapped. Okay, so again, the main point in here is the attributes. If you struggle with the attributes, please use price and quality. Okay. But I would challenge you to think about the customer's need. Okay, sorry if I explained a bit more than that. So does it answer your question?
Yeah, not a problem. Thanks.
Right, brilliant. Right, any other questions, guys?
No, all good for now.
All good for now? All right. Well, there you go. If that's the case, then look, I look forward to our next 2 sessions. In the next 2 sessions, I'm expecting that you will ask me questions, right? I'm going to open this document again, and we are going to discuss, okay, any questions or any boiling issues that you have. Okay. So far we have discussed all tools. Product price placement, promotion, we have discussed them. So yeah, look, now I do expect that it is now for you to make it to turn it into action. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Good luck with us.
What was that?
Good luck with us.
Yeah. Look, when you think about it. Is that a lot? Yes, that is a lot. That is the reason why I deliberately gave you feedback for assessment quickly. Okay, in 1 or 2 days you get the feedback, so you can start thinking about your assessment and plan to deliver that.
Sure, we appreciate it. Definitely.
Yeah, no, my pleasure. Okay, if you don't have any more questions, guys, I'll off you from the hook.
I suppose I'm good. Yeah. Thank you very much. I learned a lot as always.
Thank you. Thank you. Any more questions? Mahtab, Ed, Crystal?
No,
Lydia?
no, I'm good. Thank you.
No?
All good.
I think I'll have some on Thursday, but not right now.
Oh, okay. I look forward to
Same
it.
here.
Yeah, I need to digest whatever I learned today.
Fair enough. Okay. Crystal, any question from you?
Yeah, no, not tonight, Eddie. Thank you.
Okay. How about you, Lydia?
Eddie, I think I suppose because I have experience of running the different businesses, and obviously for many years I struggled with the marketing, and through the struggle I learned a lots of lessons. Obviously not in the academic way that I'm learning now, but most of the things that you are teaching, they all are making sense to me, and I have a kind of example from them in my mind from my previous experiences, which
Right.
helps me to understand lots of them.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Well, look, guys, we are running out of time, and before my meeting is ended, I'll just end the meeting now. If you have questions, I'll look forward to Thursday. Yeah.
Thanks.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, guys. Bye.
Thank you.
You have a beautiful night, mate. Thank you. Bye. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye.